A much more strategic and, you could argue, more important resource grab has been happening right under our noses. China has been quietly and very effectively cornering the world's silver supply. And their reasons for doing it? Well, they could end up reshaping everything from technology and green energy to the entire global balance of power for decades. So that's the big mystery we're diving into. This isn't just some random market fluctuation. This is a deliberate, carefully calculated move. And to really understand the why, we first have to get our heads around the sheer scale of what China's been doing. Get this. In just the last 3 years, China has flashed its silver exports by over 80%. They've effectively put a lock on a huge portion of the market, basically just turning off the tap for the rest of the world. It is a staggering move, and it's already sending shockwaves through industries all over the globe. To really understand China's power play, we have to zoom out and look at the global picture. Because here's the thing, the world is facing a massive silver shortage. And it's not a future problem, it's happening right now. The problem becomes crystal clear when you just look at the numbers. Global demand for silver is hitting 1.2 billion ounces, but the amount we're actually mining? Only about 830 million. That's a 370 million ounce deficit. To put that in perspective, that is the largest shortfall we have seen in decades. We are simply using way more silver than we can dig out of the ground. So what's behind this incredible demand? Well, it's 3 of the biggest technological revolutions of our time, all happening at once. I mean, think about it. Every single smartphone and computer relies on silver. The whole green energy transition is basically fueled by solar panels, which are packed with the stuff. And the big shift to electric vehicles, an EV needs double the amount of silver as a regular car. And here's a really crucial point that a lot of people miss. Unlike gold, which mostly just sits in vaults or gets recycled from jewelry, most of the silver that gets used in industry is, well, it's consumed. It becomes a tiny, irreplaceable part of millions of products, which means it's pretty much gone forever. And that makes that huge supply deficit even more critical. So, this global shortage creates the perfect backdrop for China's master plan. They saw this crisis coming from a mile away and positioned themselves to exploit it with a strategy that is, frankly, both brilliant and ruthless. So, let's break it down. China's plan here is really a masterclass in economic strategy. First, by cutting exports, they secure a cheap, stable supply of silver for their own factories. Simple. Second, this starves the rest of the world of that supply, which fragments the market and creates total price chaos for their competitors. And third, it gives them immense geopolitical leverage. I mean, their ability to threaten a total cutoff in any future trade dispute is a powerful weapon. And if you want to know why they need so much silver, look no further than this. China manufactures over 80% of the world's solar panels. 80%! To keep that dominance and fuel their own green energy goals, they absolutely need a secure, uninterrupted pipeline of this critical metal. But just securing their solar industry is only part of the story. There's a much deeper, much more strategic game at play here. This isn't just about your phone or green energy. This is about national security and the very future of warfare. You see, silver has unmatched conductivity, which makes it absolutely essential for high-tech military hardware. We're talking about the brains of missile guidance systems, sophisticated radar equipment, critical satellites, not to mention 5G networks and semiconductor manufacturing. By controlling silver, China essentially gets a chokehold on the entire global defense supply chain. Okay, so China has its strategy locked in, but what does all this mean for the rest of us? Well, the consequences are already creating instability that's rippling out through markets, industries, and yeah, even your own wallet. The first major impact is something economists call market fragmentation. This is a really key concept to grasp. It's what happens when China's actions completely break the idea of a single global price for silver. It creates a chaotic, unpredictable environment for anyone trying to buy it on the open market. And here's how that actually works. Inside China, the price of silver is kept artificially low, which gives their own manufacturers a huge advantage. But outside of China, companies are fighting over a shrinking supply, causing prices to spike like crazy. It's a 2-tiered system that's designed from the ground up to benefit China at everyone else's expense. This all kicks off a massive domino effect. Green energy projects around the world get delayed because solar panels become too expensive. The cost of your next smartphone or laptop starts to creep up. Nations start viewing silver as a strategic resource, which leads to trade disputes and geopolitical tension. And then, of course, investors pile in, creating speculative bubbles that threaten the stability of the whole market. So, this situation is, well, it's clearly not sustainable for the rest of the world. Which brings us to the most critical question of all. What, if anything, can be done about it?
Right now, countries are basically exploring four main paths. First, they're trying to diversify the supply by opening new mines, but that takes years, sometimes a decade. Second, they're researching substitutes like graphene, but there's no perfect replacement yet. Third, they're trying to improve recycling from e-waste, which is still super inefficient. And finally, governments are starting to build their own strategic stockpiles.
But here is the absolute crux of the problem. China is executing its plan right now, today. All of the world's potential responses, we're talking new mines, new tech, better recycling, they are all 5 to 10 years away from making any real impact. China knows this. They have deliberately given themselves a decade-long head start. And if this whole strategy feels a little familiar, well, it should. China ran this exact same playbook with rare earth elements about a decade ago. They identified a critical resource, completely dominated the supply chain, and then used that control as a geopolitical weapon. Silver is just the next chapter in the same book. Ultimately, it all boils down to this fundamental truth. In an era that's completely defined by technology, green energy, and advanced manufacturing, real power doesn't just come from having the best software or the biggest army anymore. It comes from controlling the physical, raw materials that make everything else possible. So, China's hoarding of silver, it really isn't just about one metal. It's a signal of a whole new era of resource competition. It proves that the tiny components inside our phones and our solar panels are now at the absolute center of global power struggles. And it leaves us with one very unsettling question to think about. If silver is the target today, what critical material is going to be next?